WWE superstar Seth Rollins has recently sparked controversy with his scorching criticism of wrestling icon Hulk Hogan. In an interview on the Outta Pocket podcast on April 16, Rollins, 38, shared his thoughts on Hogan's actions, legacy, and the long-standing controversy surrounding him. Rollins didn't hold back in his assessment of Hogan, stating that the wrestling legend is a victim of his own ego. He elaborated, saying that Hogan doesn't fully comprehend the impact of his actions and words on others. Rollins believes Hogan has created his own reality and shaped his worldview to such an extent that it prevents him from seeing how his behavior affects those around him. "I see everything that's out there," Rollins said. "He's someone who is, I think, a victim of his own ego a little bit. He just doesn't understand how what he does affects people around him." Hogan has long been embroiled in scandals, with the most significant one being the leak of a 2007 sex tape in 2015. In that tape, Hogan was heard using racial slurs, even admitting that he was a racist to a point. The backlash was immediate, and Hogan was fired from WWE. Although he later apologized, calling his language unacceptable, his reputation has remained tarnished, with many questioning whether he has truly changed or learned from his past mistakes. Rollins didn't mince words when discussing Hogan's personal beliefs. He made it clear that he has little patience for people who don't treat others with respect, regardless of race, background, or identity. "Dude, if you are not a good person and it's in your moral ethic to not treat everyone with the same respect, regardless of what they do or where they come from or the color of their skin, I got no time for you," Rollins said. While Rollins acknowledged Hogan's impact on the wrestling business and expressed gratitude for his contributions, he stopped short of offering a full endorsement of the former WWE star. Whether he hasn't changed his personal beliefs, or he hasn't taken the time to honestly make amends for some of the things he's said and done, I don't know which one it is, Rollins explained. "Maybe it's both. Maybe it's one more than the other. I don't know. But you put those two things together, you kind of have dug your own grave, man." Rollins, who is married to WWE star Becky Lynch, hinted that while he doesn't believe in associating with people who haven't changed for the better, there could still be room for Hogan to make amends. "If you don't feel like you want to make that progress in your life with the people around you, then that's just not the kind of person I want to associate with," he stated. So that's how it is. This sentiment seems to resonate with many WWE fans, especially after Hogan's recent appearance on WWE Raw's Netflix debut in January. The audience in Los Angeles greeted him with loud boos, signaling a widespread dissatisfaction with the former WWE champion's legacy and actions. Since that appearance, Hogan has not been seen on live WWE programming, further emphasizing the divide between him and many fans. Rollins, however, did leave the door open for potential redemption, though he stressed that it would require significant introspection on Hogan's part. "First of all, you've got to change the way you think," Rollins explained. He emphasized that the language Hogan used was unacceptable and reflected deep-seated beliefs. "You used the kind of language that he used in the way he used it, it's just not acceptable," Rollins stated. "That to me is your mind, that's the way you think." Rollins went on to suggest that Hogan needs to engage in serious self-reflection to unlearn harmful behaviors. "You need to look at yourself in the mirror, and you need to realize that that's not okay," Rollins said. "And you need to realize that you need to think differently, and how do you get yourself there? What process do you need to take to get yourself there? What am I doing? Why am I acting this way? Why am I thinking this way? Is this learned behavior? Likely it is. Why did I learn this? I need to unlearn this." In conclusion, Rollins proposed that if Hogan were to approach this process of self-reflection and growth with sincerity, it could help repair some of the damage done to his relationships with others. Rollins said, "I think if he just approached it that way, it might go a long way in helping him kind of build relationships with people like me who are like, I ain't got time for you right now." In many ways, Rollins' comments reflect a larger cultural reckoning in wrestling and beyond. With changing times and evolving standards, the question of how people handle past mistakes, particularly ones as grave as Hogan's, remains a point of contention. Whether Hogan will take the necessary steps to rebuild his reputation and relationships with both fans and colleagues remains to be seen. However, Rollins' comments have certainly put the spotlight on Hogan's actions and the potential path forward.